and today we are going to look at multiplication using column method. Okay, we're going to use column method to multiply two numbers together, and those two numbers are both going to be two-digit numbers. Again, we're going to be looking at multiplying numbers which are too big to use times table facts, so it's not a mental method. Again, it's a written method. So we're going to show you how the column method of multiplication works and how you can use it to multiply those two numbers together. So to start with, we're going to need two numbers. So we are going to multiply together 36 and 14. So 36 multiplied by 14. So unless you have your expert knowledge of the 14 times table, up to and including 36, you're probably going to want to write some method down to find the answer to this question. How do we set out the column method? Well, columns go down. So the idea of the column method is that it's a method that works down. So we start with the question, we have our method, and then we have our solution, our answer value at the bottom. Okay, so let's set our numbers out. Now, notice, I have put the numbers in the same order that they came in the question. So 36 multiplied by 14, I wrote 36 multiplied by 14. If the numbers were the other way round, could I change the order of these two numbers? Could I? Yes, I could. If you've watched our previous video on multiplication, you will remember that multiplication is commutative. That means the order in which you multiply the two numbers doesn't matter. The same answer will be given. So if you did 36 times by 14, the answer would be the same as 14 times by 36. Okay? Generally, most people will try and put the bigger number on the top. Okay? So just try and remember that and try and practice using the idea that the bigger number on the top will probably make the question just a little bit easier. Okay, so you will notice also that I've got a big gap here. This gap here at the bottom is going to be my answer, and this is my method. Now I've got a bigger gap here because I'm going to split my question into two steps, two lines of method. Okay? The reason I'm going to do that is because the number I am multiplying by, my multiplier, is 14. My number 14 has got two digits. It's got a tens digit and it's got a ones digit. That means I'm going to split it into two lines of method. One line of method will deal with the units or the ones. The other line of method will deal with the tens. Let's start with the ones. So the ones column, the number we have got is 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our multiplicand, which is our number we start with, and we're going to multiply it by the ones, which is 4. So I'm going to write, as a reminder, that what we're actually doing on the first line of our method is we're doing 36, and we're multiplying it by 4. Now, 6 multiplied by 4, now you've got your times table knowledge coming out. 6 multiplied by 4, 6 fours, 24. Can't write two digits in one space. So I can't write 24 in one space. I can only write the ones answer, which is the 4. I have to carry my 2 across to the next column because it's 24. So that 2 at the beginning of 24 is 2 lots of 10. It's no longer in the ones column. Now we've got 3 lots of 4. 3 times 4. Again, times table knowledge coming straight in. 3 fours are 12. Mustn't forget that I've got 2 carried into that column. So my 12, add on the 2, will now become 14. Now, because the answer, or the question, has got no hundreds, we don't need to do any more carrying. So the 1 can go straight into the hundreds column. Okay? So now we've done that, let's give ourselves a little tick to remind ourselves that that step is complete. So the second step, again, taking our 36, this time dealing with the number in the tens column. So we are multiplying by 10. So we're doing 36 multiplied by 10. Now we remember, and this is probably something we've all got in our heads, is that when we multiply a number by 10, something happens to that number. And what happens is that every number, or every digit within that number, will move one space to the left because it's becoming 10 times bigger. So the ones column becomes the tens column, and the tens column becomes the hundreds column. So 36 multiplied by 10, we will have to start in the tens column, because anything that would be in the ones column is going to move across to our tens column. So 6 multiplied by 1, which we know is 6, will have to go in our tens column. 3 multiplied by 1, which gives us 3, will have to go into our hundreds column. Let's just take a moment to think about why is that in the hundreds column. This is 30 times by 10. 300, 30 times by 10 would give us 300, so it is in the right column. Now there's a gap here. What goes in that gap? What has to go in that gap? Well, we know we've put our numbers in the correct column because we've had to multiply by 10, so everything has moved one column to the left. So all we're going to do is going to place a 0. That's called our placeholder. That's just so that we don't accidentally slip these numbers or these digits back into their original columns. Okay, so it's just to stop us from making that mistake. So making sure that every digit stays in the correct column, we put a placeholder in. So that keeps everything in the right place. All right, now we've done our 2 steps. Let's give ourselves another tick. What do we do now? Well, very simple. We're going to add together our 2 answers. We've multiplied 36 by 10. We've multiplied 36 by 4. We've got 2 answers. If we combine those, we will have 36 times by 14. Okay, so let's add those together. We've got 4 plus nothing, which gives us 4. 4 and 6 will give us 10. Again, remember you can't put 2 digits in one space, so we're going to carry that 1 across. Finally, 1 and 3 is 4, plus the 1 is 5. So we've now got the answer for 36 multiplied by 14 is 504. Okay, so we've now multiplied 2 two-digit numbers using our column method. Okay, if you haven't already done so, have a look at our video on the grid method of multiplication. You will see another way in which we can multiply together two-digit numbers. Go away and practice. Look at how you're setting out your numbers. Pick any 2 numbers you like. Look at how you're setting out. Think about your placeholder. Think about what's happening on each of these 2 lines. Okay? Go away and practice. Think about it and decide for yourself how good you are at 2-digit multiplication using your column method.